Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. This is a painting episode, and it's the second part of this fall landscape that we're working on. In the first part of this, we painted the sky, and then we used different combinations of colors to create outlines for our trees, starting from the background, coming to the foreground. Now, during the break, in between the episodes, we really needed to wait for all of this to dry. I highly recommend letting it dry naturally, but if you cannot, just use a blow dryer and you will have a dry canvas ready to go. So in this episode, we are going to start with adding the sun and like all of that pretty color over here. And then we will work on trees themselves. So for the sun, for that whole area in the sky, we're going to use white. We'll need phthalo red, sorry about that. And then for the sun, I like to use my lemon yellow and my deep yellow together, because deep yellow really helps adding a little bit of warmth to that. So let's start with this. First of all, I'm going to start with putting a little bit of white on my palette. And then I'm going to drop some phthalo red right next to it. And I really feel adventurous. Let's add a little bit of bright red also. We had all these colors before, so it's not a new color that you need to add. Let's give it a little bit more of a different color stretch here. And let's use our medium-size flat brush for this. Make sure your brush is wet. Okay. Pick up the white, just the white, nothing else. And you're going to go side to side, but you will hold your brush down like this, and it even can make like a little bit of scratchy noise here. So that's okay, we don't need a whole lot of paint. So I'm going to start with the spot where my sun is going to be. And then I'm gonna start stretching it up and down and then side to side. So let's see, this is going to be my sun. So I'm just gonna make this, right? And I also assess and see if I have enough paint on my brush or maybe a little bit too much. I think I have a little bit too much. So I'm gonna wipe it off. And then what I have here, I'm gonna start stretching it. You see, if I use that all of that paint on my brush that I had before, this would probably just cover the whole spot in white. Just a lot of white, okay? I'm sure you can hear the scratchy noise. This is almost dry brushing, almost, very close to that. Let's see, I like this, I like the stretch. I think I want to add a little bit more color, and I'll just pick it up right off of that paper towel. Oh, excuse me for that. Here we go. Right here, add just a little bit so that it's not symmetrical, right? So it looks a little bit different, okay? And a little bit more. It really is all good. Okay, wipe off my brush. Do not rinse it, just wipe it off. And let's set a little bit of chrome yellow and deep yellow for us to work with. We really don't need a lot. Okay, so now on top of this white, we're gonna add some chrome yellow, but I still want a little bit more white on my brush, because if my yellow goes directly on top of the blue, it's gonna turn green, and I really do not want that. Okay, so here we are going again, starting with the sun first. So I'm kind of making a rough shape. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'll have the time to deal with that later. So make the sun. All right, whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to wipe it off. Okay, and now I'm going to stretch the sun out a little bit. Just stretch, 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 stretch. There, that's all I need here. Okay, wipe it off. It's all good. Now we're going to start again. We're going to start with white. And let's grab a little bit of bright red, just a tiny, tiny bit on that same brush. Can you see? Just a little bit. And I'm going to make a couple of marks on both sides of this beauty that we're trying to create. Just a little, like this, okay? Kind of working fast because we don't want this to dry. We still want it all to move and blend for us. Wipe it off and do the same thing with your phthalo red. Okay, white, tiny touch. You don't need a lot of this. And put some phthalo red right on there, maybe a little bit more, just to make sure you get some good color from it. Okay, wipe off the brush, and now we're going to do the same thing. Scratch, scratch, and move. Let this color move. Let it take place where it wants to be. Okay, now if for aesthetics you prefer to have your color more blended in, not like as scratched like here, we will rinse the brush, add a little bit of water on that brush, just a tiny, tiny bit, and go back in. See, and you just by adding a little bit of water, you are helping the paint blend together a little bit better for you. And it even makes more a very interesting color. And so then you can just take the brush this way or that way and help this stretch. I'm going right across the sun with this. It's okay, doesn't really matter. All right, I'm gonna let this sit and dry. And while this is drying, we're gonna start working on those trees. When this is dry, we can come back and finish the actual sun in there, okay? We don't really want to pile up paint right now because it'll start lifting and that won't be helpful. Okay, so for designs on the trees, you can use ideas that we have here, or another idea would be to maybe go to Pinterest, and they have pages upon pages upon pages of designs that you can add to your trees, whatever your choice is. We can use just a regular tree trunk and just add that, or you can go and add some interesting textures and patterns and things to play with, because there is nothing wrong with that. Now for that, we will be using black paint. So let's make a nice bottle of black paint. And we need to thin it out a little bit, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm sure it looks familiar if you did the chunky flower. with me. It's very similar to what we did before. Okay, gently mix this in. Also, if you feel a little bit intimidated by using the brush, you can use your Sharpie. Just use a Sharpie marker and you can do the same thing. Or if you have an acrylic paint pen, you can also do the same thing. You can also use a liner brush, which is smaller size round brush, and it will make it a little bit easier for you. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with the trees in the background. Okay, my brush right now is super full of paint, and that's really not what I want. I just want paint on the tip of the brush. So I'll take this off. Okay, and then go back in and just put some paint on the tip of the brush. The thing here is that the harder you push the brush to the canvas, the thicker your lines are going to be. So it could be a little bit of a learning curve, maybe practice on a side paper or printer paper or something, or newspaper, whatever you want to use. Okay, I'm gonna start with my pine tree, and I will start on the top, add the line, and maybe add some frills, so to speak. And then maybe this will go back here. And I'll bring it to here, and maybe here. Some sort of design. Doesn't need to be anything super hard. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my other pines, here and here. Maybe this will go this way and this will go that way. And then I have a very tall pine here, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I want to work on the trees that are in background first so that I don't smudge anything. Once I smudge the black paint on it, that's not going to be fun. Okay, so how about this one? Let's do a border, maybe like this, and maybe I want to double it. There. And maybe I'll start like in the center of the tree, and I'll just add something like teardrops or maybe petals, whatever they are. Really. And then it'll stop right here. Maybe this one will go here. And then this will stop. And then I'll go back and add like a dot here in the middle. And then I'll go back to my shapes here, to my teardrop shapes, and give them dots right here. Okay, that kind of gave me something here. Okay, we can, how about this tree? I'll start with a line going straight down the middle. And then carefully bring it to the tree that sits right in front of it. And then just add lines going across. My brush is too full here. Just add lines, go right across it. Doesn't need to be, they don't need to be parallel. I'm making them not parallel on purpose because this is organic, right? It's not geometrical piece, it's rather organic. And maybe we could do things like that, like add some like scoring to it to give it a little bit more texture. Let's see, what else could we add to this tree? You know what, I want to add scoring on the top to just kind of mark the top. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, then we have this nice, big, bushy, what could we do with that? how about we'll do, it's always decisions, right? You gotta decide, what can we do with this? Especially considering that we just have a little bit of it showing. Oh, you know what? I'll do this. I'll do this thing on him. So starting from the top, any spot, little tear shape, and then add another, but do not go back onto the first one. Okay, and then another one right here. And then we can go the other way, and again, and almost into the spine tree. It's hiding. Okay, the orange tree. Start in the middle, maybe go to the middle. Okay, and then add lines, go in different ways. And then use your brush and add like little leaves on the sides, maybe. Okay. We can do, what else can we do, right? I really like busy patterns. Oh, let's do this one. This would be fun. So again, but this time not a straight line, kind of make it a little bit curvy. Give it some curve. Start on the bottom, so your first leaf, like this, goes on the bottom so that we can build up, going up. We also can avoid painting on the trees that are in front of this one. Okay, so again, go up and down and up. And yep, that worked pretty well. And again, and again. And let's finish the sun up there, because we need to finish that. Cleaning the brush. Not clean, hold on, a little bit. There we are. Okay, so for your sun, you can use your round brush if it's easier for you, or you can stick to your small flat brush. We will need some white and some chrome yellow to start with, so make sure your brush is damp. Get some white on it. Get some chrome yellow. And then we're going to go to the spot where the sun is, set it down, and then I'm going to twirl. So it's kind of an easiest way for me to make a circle, and just turn it. And we have the sun. Fill that in. If you want to create a bigger sun, use a bigger brush. So let's try and do that with a bigger brush, just to make a bigger one. Okay. Damp your brush, get some white, get your yellow. Again, go to your spot, press, and twirl in your fingers, and it'll make a very nice circle for you. And then you can go back and kind of finish where you need it finished. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to my small flat, grab some white. We're going to add a little bit more white into the center of our sun. So I'm just kind of tapping and letting it blend. When you add some white in the center like this, it makes the sun look warmer. All right. Wipe it off. And now we're going to use some of the deep yellow. and just add it on the sides, just all the way around. See, I'm just tapping it. It doesn't really matter here. Just tap it in. Make sure that you got it. Wipe off your brush. Okay, and then come back and blend it in nicely. And let it all work together for you. Okay, there we go. And now we can go back to working on our trees. So I will just continue working as well as you can until every tree has a pattern or something on it that you like. How about we'll do this one like that. And that's good, or you can add something else, like some other element to it. And then, now I can work on that pine tree finally. So here we go. Just going down from here and adding the fringe, or no, it's not the fringe. What is this called? Here. And then maybe we'll come here and make this branch a little bit bigger. That, and then from here and there. Okay. This tree is going to have an outline, and here and here, and I'm going to give it some branches coming from the trunk. Totally can do that. This yellow tree right here really reminds me of an Easter egg, but it's not what we want. What else can we do? Let's do, oh, we can do something completely unexpected. Just add some shapes to it. How's that? Kind of silly looking, huh? I don't know, I kind of like it. Okay. Let's go see this one. I would like to outline it also. And give it a nice line in the middle. And then I'm just gonna add squiggly lines going around it, but stopping at the, coming to the same top point. Just like that. Okay, let's do the street the same as that one. They're roughly the same color, so that kind of makes sense. Some scoring lines or something like that. Okay, and then the last two, I'm just gonna follow this. Just create kind of concentric circles or lines and come back and fill them in. There. And this dude is having, let's see. Something like here. And also just go ahead, add your lines to it, add your marks. Okay, and when we're done with the trees, we're gonna add some birds in the sky. And that is as easy as drawing a very open letter V with soft sides. So you're just gonna go like that, and then give it some sort of a body. And if you want to have the bird like showing that it's like on that side, not directly coming at you, just make one of the wings shorter and one of them longer. And it'll look like the bird is turning or something like that. Okay, one more. I'm gonna put one more right here. All right, something like that. Okay, so I hope you had fun. Definitely send me your paintings, what you make. If you do not want me to share them in the show, just say your eyes only and I wouldn't share them. But I would love to see what you create. And until next time, bye-bye.